What's happening, guys? How you doing? Welcome to Hamburger Podcast. Excuse me. So I'm popping off and on and in and out and all that. So just wanted to let you guys know I'm going to come on when I come on. Because I don't know. I think we're in a time where I don't know what I have to say yet. If I create a format, then I'll do an actual show, which I'm kind of trying to put together right now. But for right now, I want to come on and talk when I talk. So I have Brody behind me. And you know what's funny? I'm going to tell you this. I'm an overthinker. It's so funny. I'm connected to the world's vibe and everything. And I think about everything and everybody's feelings and everyone's reactions and everything all the time. And you would never guess it the way I talk and the way I act. At the same time, a lot of people wouldn't understand. Like Brody suffered from a mental illness, which I want to say all of us, I don't know anyone who doesn't have it. I always suffered from horrible body dysmorphia. I've never talked about that because who gives a fuck? Like I can look in the mirror and go, okay, shut up, But at the same time, sometimes I look in the mirror and I hate how I look. And I look horrible. I look like wretched. I look like the beer belly guy. I see all these different things. My arms are tiny. My arms are big. It's all different for me all the time with that, right? Then I realized recently, okay, so I'm trying to figure out how to say things now because I've kind of realized that it's the moccasin thing. We can't understand each other if we haven't been in each other's shoes. And I have to understand a little better, I guess, that people can't understand where I'm coming from. The same reason I can't understand where they're coming from. I guess I've always looked at it like they're idiots for not seeing things. And I don't mean it that way, like, because, I've helped so many people and things like that. But I do mean we don't realize that there's a flow to the world, and you're either in the flow or you're not. And, and it's kind of like what I'm getting to is how have things changed and this and that, because there is a flow to the world. So, for example, there was the Me Too movement. So women in higher positions and things like that have a bit more protection. But are women on the street more protected? Are women in the lower paying jobs, are they more protected? I don't know. I ask you, of the people do they seem more protected? Are women no longer getting yelled at and guys coming up to them and hitting them up on the bus? Are women no longer having to suffer with bullshit lines and hit-ons at the factory and things like that? Has it changed for women in the labor force? Has it changed for women walking on the street? I don't mean streetwalkers, but walking on the street and streetwalkers, but whomever. Do you see what I'm saying? It's June 2021. The Me Too movement was a few years ago. Where are we? Because I'm every day outside of my window, I'm seeing women getting harassed constantly. Every day, and then once in a while, I see the police show up to a domestic disturbance and they tell everyone to just go their own ways. So I'm seeing this stuff still going on. I'm seeing everything because I'm prompted by this because somebody made a post and I even deleted my response because I didn't want to deal with anyone. I grew up in Pacoima, okay? So someone made a point about like, oh, these Latin kids nowadays are, you're right. You know what? Mary, that's so dead on, just so you know. That is exactly, and that's the thing, is the people in the lowest place, they're not looking to get together and fight, and the richest people have gotten together and they're protected. And then the people in the middle are just moving along. And so those of us that really want change and this and that, we're just squeaky. We're like the squeaky wheel without oil. And we're not getting oil, and we're just crunching shit and being pissed. So yeah, I agree with you. But now here's the thing, is we do all this. We talk about mental illness. We talk about how we care. We talk about how we're going to make changes. We talk about what we're going to do and all this stuff. We paint murals. We protest. We do all these things. But where are we? Are women being treated better? Then my bigger question is the person from one of the presidents of Black Lives Matter founders, resigned because of the houses and the money and everything else. And now a bunch of them are resigned. 2 of them are going to jail. All this stuff. Forget that. It doesn't matter because the sentiment of Black Lives Matter stands. It was an amazing sentiment. It was true. Black lives do matter, and we needed to recognize that. But are Black people getting arrested less? I mean, they're not telling us the color of the suspect on the news, but we see the picture. We know that it's a black suspect, right? So, but are they getting arrested less? Are they getting better opportunities at the medium and lower levels? Are they offering mental help to Black people on the streets in a real way? Do you see what I'm saying? What's changed? Because this is my problem, and I've always done it wrong. I scream, there's got to be change, and if you don't get it, you're a fucking moron. And I've done that in the sense of, even when I try to like make a point to someone, like I'll make a point to someone by telling them how horrible they are by using another example, and they get it, but then they just hate me for it, and nothing changes. Instead of just changing and making things better myself. So I'm really going to work on that, but ask yourself, what's changed? Because see, here's the thing. I have 2 daughters. One of those daughters is mixed Black and Jewish. She looks Black. Like she doesn't, I mean, she just has the characteristics of Black. Therefore, would be looked and viewed upon as Black. What I'm saying, or mixed, but what I'm saying is, in the sense is, I want this world better. I want all of my children to have the same opportunities. You see, I don't want my one white Jewish son who doesn't really look Jewish, so I can hide that, although he loves being Jewish. My white Jewish son, I don't want him to have everything and my other 2 daughters to have nothing. And my son to just destroy everything my youngest daughter has and just pillage and take advantage of everything my older daughter has. I don't want that. Why would I want that? Do you see what I'm saying? I want a world that's right for all of them. But I think a lot of us do. But then people will tell me like, oh, I don't understand. And then I go off on them. And I have to work on that myself. I have to work on my own self-control, my own self-understanding, my own. And, it's funny. And I think one of the wisest people Brody was a wise person, honestly. You think that he was a wise person, but I think he was destroyed inside at a loss for what to do, because Brody, who probably should have been a Viking, grew up skateboarding in the valley. And so there's those of us that need adventure. We need craziness. We need to go out. We need to have answers to life. We need to know why. And there's other of us that are fine with just having a great binge schedule of TV, work, and everything else. Nothing wrong with either, but this world needs to start opening up to everybody, depending on the life you want. We need to offer cities and freedoms. We need to offer cities with taxes and everything else. And then we need to offer people to go get land and live off of it. But they can't live off the government and the land. One or the other, you see. But we have to put aside, there's got to be places for people to be doing different things. Like you love the Kardashians, you love doing all this crazy, I keep saying the Kardashians. You love doing all this crazy stuff. You want to have fun. You want to rock and roll and parties and all this stuff. Cool. Live in Hollywood. Live in Chicago. Live, parts of Chicago. Live in, like the Chicago city. Live in New York City. The Bronx. Manhattan, like all these places, right? Live in Florida, in Miami. But then we need to have the Everglades. And those people need to have their freedom. Do you see what I'm saying? We need to say, hey, if you want to just live off the earth, you can do that in America. You can just live off the earth, but you can't ask the government for shit except federal protection from other entities. But you can't ask the government for shit. But here you go. And you can't break federal law. We need that in America, so people like me, people like other people who need to get out and need to open up and need to do all these things, we get to. So we don't lose our minds, so we don't go crazy. I see how people lose their minds all the time. Trust me, I have fully felt so lost, so insane. Honestly, I got to be honest, I've never wanted to kill myself. I've not cared if I died. I'll say that. But I've never wanted to kill myself. But I get frustrated, the insane frustration of not getting it. You know, I mean, and then when you got to just realize that the world doesn't make sense, go live your happy. Don't let anyone yuck your yum, and rock and roll and live happy and be free. And I bring this up because a lot of people right now are suffering from serious depression, serious frustration, and everything. You just don't get it. And everything just seems so weird. Nothing seems real anymore. And how are we coming out of this pandemic and people are just rolling along, and there's some of us that are just going, wait, what the fuck? Like, how's it all just gone now? And then also, like, what about all the other stuff? Like, what are you still doing for Black Lives Matter? It didn't end. There's plenty of Black lives that still need, I mean, it's not equal. Things haven't been restored. Restoration hasn't happened in any way. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys, man. Me too, that's a great movement, but you know what? Has things changed for women? I ask because I see them bugged all the time. I mean, I constantly bug them. No, I'm joking. But I do. I see women getting bothered all the time, like outside my window and stuff like that. I know business people and owners that still make the jokes and do the stuff and are banging their secretary and all this stuff. It's all still going on that I see, but I could be wrong. And so I'm wondering, are you still seeing that? Are you out there still seeing everything I'm seeing, that it's still like basically 1950 with a ton of new technology? And yes, nobody's going to have to drink from different fountains, but everything's still set in stone that there's rich, there's poor, there's haves and have-nots. And then in the haves and the have-nots, there's the different breakdowns and everything. I don't know. Maybe if you're for, I don't care. There's no right and wrong in that part. Everyone just voted their heart, and that's fine. But I mean that the world is getting better. If not, why not? Like Brody might say, then fix it. So, hey Goya, how you doing? But yeah, so okay, so anything anyway, sorry. So the thing I was reading said, like, oh, all these young Latin kids, they don't get it, man. They don't understand caring about each other. They dump on each other and turn on each other and all this stuff. When we were growing up in Pacoima, the Chicanos were together and this and that. Well, I grew up at the same time as this person, and no, they weren't. There were all kinds of gangs fucking killing each other at the time. All Latin gangs killing one another. Haddon, Mercer Street, Lev Street, Pierce Street, Bradley, Pierce Street Projects, Lev Street Rockers, Shaking Cats, San Fernando Valley Midgets, Latin Times, Pacoima, 18th Street Northside, Barrio Van Nuys, all these different things. Not Jaws Boys, what the fuck was it? Mickey Mouse Club. I mean, Iranian kids. Seriously, swear to God, the 80s. But there were all these gangs, and they were all, and this is the thing, and Latin people were screwing each other over. I worked in soccer for a long time, Hanson Dam, things like that. The Latin groups would fuck each other over on the fields and literally go fight each other over fields and things like that because there was money involved. It's not about that. White people do the same thing. Black people do the same thing. Indian, Asian, everyone does the same thing. But we have to stop the lie that back in our day, people were better. They weren't. You're believing a lie. They were just as tricky and shitty as they could be as they are now. I mean, if anything, people are kind of kept a little more to task now because of a video everywhere. But let's stop the lie. Let's stop telling kids that in our day they were better. Let's tell them that it was the same shit and it's got to change. It was the same shit in our day. It was the same shit in my mom's day. It's the same shit in her mom's day and the day before that and the people's before that. It's been the same shit since Adam and Eve met two other motherfuckers. Problems ever since. Here's the thing. Stop all the lies and let's fix it. Let's make it better. We shouldn't gender specify. That's all. You don't need to label yourself. Just that's it. Just go and be human. How about that? It's the easiest thing in the world. Just be human. Okay? very, very few. And I don't even know how you can be pure of race because we don't even know the original race for truth. So, you know, we need to just, that's all I'm saying, is we need to stop the old, hey, things were better and people were better and everyone's, but we just need to realize we've been crap for a long, long time. And we all need to stop and change it on an everyday basis. See, like what I mean is Black lives do matter. To the extent that if you're driving a car, right, and you see Black people trying to cross the street in a crosswalk, let them. Let's say this. Let's say me and my daughter are on my scooter, right? I'm scootering along because I'm a dork. Okay, whatever. Fuck you. I'm on my scooter. I'm scootering along with my daughter. Let's say you see my daughter with her hair sticking out. You can look at her and see she's Black, right? You're a Black person. And instead of go ahead and going and fuck us, right, because you hate me, how about see her and realize Black lives matter? Hers. Each one matters. See, the problem is that's been the problem. It's that each individual life matters, but with the Black Lives Matters, each Black life matters. Each one, every single one of them. You see? So when you're driving, if you believe Black Lives Matter, then you need to be careful because enough Black people are dying, right? You should. I mean, again, watch everyone, please. I'm just saying. Where does Black Lives Matter start and stop? Where does the Me Too start and stop? Does the Me Too start and stop with your friends, your girls, your kids, your wives? You see what I'm saying? Your sisters, your moms? It should be with every woman. So when you're somewhere and you think it's okay because what you're doing is funny, because you know the way you tell her, hey, come here, boobs, but you know you're joking with her, you're not. You're a dick. You're the same dick as every other guy that's a dick. That's why there was a Me Too movement. And if you're a woman who falsely accuses guys, you're truly the worst person in the world. Because guys that do that stuff are shit. The women that falsely accuse guys who don't do that stuff are bigger shit. Anyway, let's be better. Let's cheer up. Let's be better. Let's love one another. Let's fight for one another. Protect one another, not with each other. It's getting chaotic out there, guys. We're going to need to be friends. There's so many good people out there, and we come in every color, every gender, every religion, every height, weight, and everything else. We need to stick together, and we need to be making a better world for everyone, for our kids. Let's do that. I really hope we do. You know what? If you don't want to do it, I'll tell you this. It's gonna happen.